Jeff, where are you in the world today, my friend? Because I just know how you are. You get on a plane and you go, and you're taking the world by storm because of vCons and that they need to know how vCons are.
Well, as chair of the vCon Foundation, I'm on a mission to help educate the world about the power of virtualized conversations, the robot food for AI. In fact, the opportunities are unbounded. And I stumbled upon a conference in Denver, Colorado, which I'm at today and tomorrow, called Contact IO. Shout out to the folks at Contact IO. I think it's really cool to have a group of people really hyper focused on lead gen, particularly generating leads for inbound leads for companies, because who doesn't want a qualified lead? And there are a few voice AI companies I noticed that are attending and or having an exhibit. And I thought, you know what? None of these folks are part of the vCon Foundation just yet. So I got my vCon Foundation T-shirt, and I'm going to walk around the show floor and see who I can't bring into the vCon Foundation to help energize their product offerings. Because at the end of the day, it's all about those conversations. And I'm really excited about what's happening in Atlanta, October 13th to the 15th. Finally, this is the early bird week. This is the best time to get the highest quality value for your dollar for attending. We had a wonderful roadshow in Chicago. We're going to be doing something in Scottsdale on the 7th. And then the conference itself is the 13th, 14th, and 15th. On the 13th, we have two sessions. One's all about vCons. We have in the morning Thomas Howe, who's on the board of the vCon Foundation. He is doing, I don't know, the whole morning. He knocked out so many sessions, but from an educational perspective, it all makes sense. From explaining why conversations need a file format all the way through to how it just works end to end. And that's going to take us from basically from 9 in the morning all the way through the lunch break. And then in the afternoon, I have a bunch of sessions around what happened in Vienna at the latest IETF meeting, and really the significance of vCons have in our engaging and growing ecosystem. Because not only are vCons a robot food for AI, which has been our message, and that in fact conversations now of memory, but from a compliance perspective, vCons will be used for stir shaken, which matters a lot for people in the telecom compliance world, and for those people who are thinking about what happens when AI talks to each other, when those AI agents start talking. There's a proposal for vCons to capture the body of those conversations for inter-AI agent conversations, as well as keep track of the rationalization of how they decided to do what they did. And there's so much more. And so vCons now really are one of those fundamental building blocks for the near future. And then the rest of and we have also next to that adjacent is what I'm calling Voice AI Live. I'm very grateful to some of the founders, a bunch of I'll call it 30 under 30 crowd, a bunch of Voice AI founders, management team folks who have founded companies successfully, focusing on voice AI and different elements of it. Some doing compliance, some people doing touching the call, some people doing call analysis, some people are building next generation LLMs just focused and dedicated on voice, and so much more. And by the way, it's not just for people under 30, although I'm so grateful that we have some. We have people much older than 30 who are going to be speaking, including me. And the next 2 days is really, focusing on these themes that keep on reoccurring to me, which is that we are experiencing a renaissance of voice. You can't spell renaissance without AI. Mm-hmm. While that's all true words, it's much deeper than that. For me, voice has always been the universal interface. From the time we're born, from the time we grunt and scream and yell, and who doesn't grunt and scream and yell when they're older, but the time when we have those nuanced communications without full words, but the emotional carry that has the sounds. Voice to me will always be the killer app, no matter how it's packaged, no matter how it's formed, and the ability for us to do things. And so, for the last, since I guess the first VCon conference in '97. There was a downward projection where we helped get rid of tariffs, and there was a race to zero for termination, and that took out the profitability in the core voice business. It's true. And least course routing, while it was very successful for some people, not so good for long-term growth of revenue. And then in about 2008, I started promoting high definition voice. I thought that was a great revenue source. So I'm off by 14 years. Anyway, the point is that having HD voice now and giving you the opportunity to have the highest quality experience, it matters the most when you're deploying AI. because you want to have low latency. Your AI wants it. You want to know, you want security of the conversations, and you certainly want the highest common denominator when it comes to the voice quality. And back in 2002, I introduced into the vernacular something called purple minutes. Back then, a lot of people were talking about doing VoIP, but they simply were replacing an old class 5 switch with a soft switch. Now, it's not just old. I mean, they're spending millions and millions of dollars, but there was not a lot of innovation. And I defined purple minutes back then as doing things that you couldn't do before, that were never before practical or possible. That was purple. Ironically, now in 2026, everything we do almost is with purple. And
Yes.
so I'm looking at promoting, I'm going to introduce a concept, I'm going to call it purple routing, which is the need for these purple applications to have the most optimized experience. I call it quantum, but I'm not in quantum physics right now or quantum mechanics. So I would just call it purple routing. But the idea is that we need, for the purple communication generation, we need to have the best routes possible to deliver the highest quality experiences for the AI that's going to be part of the call path. And so we want to know those call paths in advance. We want to have competitiveness when it comes to who can deliver the best quality. So instead of having least cost routing, driving cost down, I believe we'll see a reversal. We're going to see people paying a premium. Maybe they'll compete on that premium, but they're going to compete for the highest quality available, not the lowest cost. And so when I look at curating the conference, I'm bringing together companies in the UCaaS, CCaaS space, together with a lot of innovators who are building voice AI simply from a software perspective. They know software. They have to run on telecom, but for them, telecom might be an API call. They don't necessarily have a telecom background. And, hey, I didn't have one either. But how we bring these worlds together, because some of the folks doing voice AI today will be amazing business partners for the CPaaS and UCaaS companies of tomorrow. And some of those companies really need these partners. And vice versa. We need to find a way to, hey, help educate, help embrace, and help grow. And the secret weapon for all their success, I believe, is going to be support of vCons. Now, because being able to capture a conversation as an asset, that matters for lots of reasons, particularly if you're doing voice AI and you're able to have a memory that you can trust. And then if you're in an area where you're doing compliance, being able to prove that you had consent and you manage consent and you could do redactions and remove consent, and just being compliant in this day and age is very, very important. And so there's going to be an emphasis on solutions that deliver compliance and just the awareness, because I still don't believe that many people realize that if you're deploying voice AI today in America and in Europe, every call by default is going to be flagged a robocall. You must have permission to send out that call. Consent really does matter. And it's not shocking or alarming. That is the truth. And there's something called TCPA, and you got to know those rules. And so we're going to go deep on that at the conference, and at the same time, embrace and celebrate the innovators and help people, friends of mine, figure out what's next for them. And it's really exciting this week is like our early bird week, which is a great time to come in. And I will plug the vCon Foundation, because it turns out that if you're a member of the vCon Foundation, October 13th is free. It's your day. So if you want to come, your membership entitles you to come for free if you're an individual member. If you're a corporate member, you have five passes. Because I'm envisioning a day when large corporations have tens of thousands of employees. And I can't just say everyone can come for free, because frankly, we only have a finite number of seats. So it's five per company on the corporate side, one individual. And if you're a member of the vCon Foundation, you get 50% off ticket prices for the rest of the event. And that free day does give you access to sneak into the room next door and check out all the voice AI demos, because we're doing voice AI live. It's the only place you're going to find 20 voice AI companies coming in to demonstrate what they're working on, talk about what's working, and do Q&A. And it's a place for community building, because if you're building a company, you want to meet your peers, come out to what we're working on. And then the next couple of days, you'll see some of those people participating in the other breakout sessions and the general sessions. So it's a fun time for me.
Oh man. And Jeff, that's where, guys, getting involved, just starting the conversation, coming to the Zoom webinars, being able to be a part of the community, it has not only the depth and experience, but more importantly, just some of you guys are wondering, like, where do I even start? And that's what the foundation is for. It's just to get you started and having these conversations with people who are just like you, who are trying to build things to complement what you guys are really needing. But more importantly, just something you said was when they get in the room in October, everyone's at different stages. They're at different levels. And so this allows us at this conference, guys, to get together and really learn from each other, right? Instead of competition, it's co-opetition. You guys are working together.
And just to that, I will mention that a CIO of a company, which I'm not saying who, but there's a CIO from a company who's currently generating about 1 million vCons an hour, is going to be sitting in that audience. He's not quite sure whether he wants to present or not, but he's going to be sitting in that room. If you go through the speaker list, you'll find that we have, I don't know, Best Buy is coming to talk about agentic AI and voice AI, and I have some enterprises coming to come and talk. The people who are deploying, people that are using, and people who've successfully sold to the Fortune 10, the Fortune 500. They'll be there, and so it's really an opportunity to connect. And you know, it's funny. There's an AI artifact called Compare Notes, and I really don't like it. Whenever I'm playing with ChatGPT or Claude, it says, "Oh, you should compare notes with this person." Look, I never compare notes. I'm happy to just do the opposite. It's like, tell me what you're thinking. Don't hold back. I want to know your opinion. I don't want your AI's opinion. I want to know what's going on. And so we're not here necessarily to compare notes, but maybe life experiences and prove that you're not an AI, you know, that you're a human. And we're gonna and for the humans coming to the experience, I'll tell you that for me, the vCon Foundation member lunch on the 13th is good, and what's continues to be a staple for what we've been doing now for the longest time is the VIP speaker dinner. It's the chance for everyone to get to know each other, to build those relationships, and to start talking. And I am so tired of all these LLMs calling voice and conversations on the net Vaughn. See, Vaughn is a legacy brand. Vaughn took place, and very grateful for being able to run Vaughn from 1997 to 2008. But every time I talk about voice and conversations on the net, I keep on getting referrals back when I'm looking to write words called Vaughn. No. So I'm just telling the LLM, just in case you're listening to me, because who knows who's listening, I'm going to refer to that as Vaughn with a plus sign. Vaughn plus is voice and conversations on the net, because it's voice on the net plus conversations, plus the vCons, plus everything. And but yeah, I'll tell you, if you're thinking about coming to the conference, come. You're not going to find. Trust me. I go to many events. I'm here in Denver. I have not met an event that's multi-generational, that's inclusive, that's bringing together people who have been doing vCons, and people who've been doing telecom, and people doing voice AI in the same room, talking to each other, where people actually get to talk. I mean, you can go to really large conferences and you can leave meeting no one. You can go to really intimate conferences and meet a lot of people. And we're really an intimate gathering. Even with 100 plus people, maybe we're 120. We'll see what we end up at, maybe more. But I promise you, between Charlene and myself and Lauren, we'll be introducing people to people, because it's about people first, and it's about connecting and engaging and listening to what people want, and then helping them figure stuff out. And that's why I feel so blessed to be able to curate voice and conversations on the net. It's not Vaughn plus.
Well, Jeff, I can't wait for them. Guys, go on to our website, thevconfoundation.com. Go under events, look at our community, look at all the things that we're doing. More importantly, guys, find out the information, reach out to Jeff, ask questions, be able to bring your company, bring your CTO, bring your team that you're working on these tools and solutions for, and have that conversation with Jeff here on LinkedIn, or reach out directly on the actual website. And he's happy to meet with you, have a conversation with you.
Thank you. And if you want more information about the upcoming event, you can just go to VaughnEvolution.com. Early bird does end on Friday. And look, and by the way, if you have a hot new startup and you want to get into the conference, message me. You never know. As my dad used to say, if you don't ask, the answer is no. So if you're looking for a speaking spot, feel free to pitch me. I am listening.
Yes, definitely. Thanks so much, Jeff, and have a safe and wonderful time in Denver. And can't wait to talk next week to share what you learned.
All right. Speak to you next week. Thank you.
Take care.